How's it going, Chumperdumps? My name is Ugbug and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a beginner's guide to Valheim. And I'm hoping to make actually a little bit of a series out of this. So Valheim is a new game that came out very recently this month. And honestly, I'm having a lot of fun playing it. So you know what? We're going for it. It's very cheap. You can get it for about 15 quid I think on Steam. And yeah, we're going straight into a beginner's guide. We're going to go quick as possible to get all these tips to you straight away. So, when I say beginner's guide, we're talking about the first stage of the game, and that is pretty much up until the first boss fight. So when you spawn in, you'll be given a few tutorials and stuff like that, but really what I'm going to be laying out is not only some tips, but also really what you'll want to do when you first spawn in, your step-by-step guide. Right, step 1, get straight into it. You want to be making the axe, okay? So what you want to do first is punch down some small trees. You'll see small trees pretty much everywhere where you spawn. In that stone circle, there will be a bunch of branches and stones on the floor which you can pick up straight away. And effectively that is there to get you the stone axe straight away. So anyway, you want to craft the stone axe, and then you want to use that to chop down the nearest tree and get approximately a full stack of wood, so about 50 wood. You'll need this for steps 3 and potentially step 2. After you get 50 wood, you want to get the club, the blunt weapon. It does slightly more damage, and it's just the main combat weapon what you want to use. And you want to immediately start hunting boars. Now boars will spawn randomly in the world. You can go around, you can just have a bit of an explore really. You can cut down some trees, you can do whatever you want really. You can pick up some raspberries and stuff if you find them, some mushrooms. We'll come into that after this for tips about raspberries and stuff like that. But what you want to do is effectively hunt boars straight away. And why you want to do this is because you need to get leather scraps. You need 8 leather scraps in order to craft the bow. And the bow is pretty much necessary. It's very, very hard to hunt deer without using a bow. And you need the deers in order to even start the boss fight. So I would recommend you going out and straight away killing 8 boars. That can also get you some food on the way. You probably won't be able to do that in the first day, so if you can't manage that before it starts getting dark, skip to step 3 and then come back to it after you've established your base. So you want to effectively get those 8. You want to make sure you don't waste any leather scraps. The first thing you want to build is that bow. Once you've got the bow, then you're okay. You pretty much don't need anything else. The shield, it's not actually that important. You don't need it for the boss fight. You'll see, I'll have some gameplay up here of me running it the second time. And you'll see that I just don't need the shield because I do everything pretty much with the bow anyway. So yeah, and dodging, it works just like in Dark Souls. You get invulnerability frames, so it's all good. We'll talk about that in a bit though. Right, then you want to make your base. Effectively you can do this in a very, very efficient way. What you want to do is you only need to use a handful of materials. This is why you only need about 1 stack. What you want to do is find an area. It doesn't even have to be flat. All you have to do is build 2 floors next to each other, 2 walls and 2 roof pits. And the reason why you're going to be doing 2 is because one of these is going to have your bed on it and the other one's going to have the workplace. You're then going to build a fire, but you can't build it on top of a floor point, so you just want to put that slightly off the side near your bed and then build a food station on top of it. Then you should have enough wood to get through all of that, and then once you have pretty much your basic base set up, you'll then be able to craft the bow, provided there is a roof over that workstation, and you can pretty much then immediately start the first boss fight. What you want to do is you'll have the cooking station. You want to cook up that raw meat you got from those boars, and then you want to hunt some deer. You only need to get 1 deer trophy in order to start the trial, I believe. And what you want to effectively do is have that in your hotbar so your 1 to 8 slots. You then want to click on that number where it is in the slot on the altar, and that will trigger the boss fight. So those are what you want to do in order to get straight into the game. So yeah, the key point, you want to get those boars as soon as possible because it's pretty much impossible to do any hunting on deers without the bow. I made the mistake of wasting the first 5 or so scraps I got on making a shield when I didn't need it. Yeah, that's the main point. Right, so hopefully that wasn't too much, but anyway, we've got a few extra tips I can throw your way. So you may notice that food in this game actually operates in a very, very interesting manner. Your maximum health will fluctuate quite a lot, and so effectively what happens is you have 3 slots. That's effectively the capacity of your stomach. You can effectively consume up to 3 items at a time, and again their effects. Each item contributes a bar, and you'll see that bar once you've eaten it. And the size of this bar will effectively equate to how much health, or how much your maximum health is increased from eating this item. Now, you can't just say eat 3 meats to fill up all the slots. No, once one type of item is in a slot, you cannot eat it again to put into another. So effectively the game is encouraging you to eat a variety of different food items at the same time to get the maximum effect. At the start of the game, up until the first boss fight, the 3 main foods you'll be having are mushrooms, raspberries, and cooked, like just meat, I think it's called meats, which you'll be getting from those boars and the deer. And yeah, that's pretty much that's the main health tip. Now, those are all the main ones if you want to just get straight in and play the game, but this one's going to be more of a quality of life one, and that is about leveling. And when I say leveling, I mean leveling the ground, not your character. I'm sure there are going to be a handful of leveling exploits in this game's life cycle, but I don't know any of them just yet. So, leveling ground. So you may notice that, well, most of the ground is pretty bad. It's it's pretty awful in terms of building on. So there is effectively this technique which you can use to make sure it all looks nice. And effectively, up until you beat the boss the first time, you will not have the ability to outright lower the ground. You'll be able to build it up, but that's not encouraged because stones are quite hard to come by in the early game until you get far past that first boss fight. But you can also level it to a certain extent. And so what you want to try and do is, if you see here, for example, you've got a building, it's got a little bit of a gap at the bottom, say on the fence. Then what you want to do is, if you line up the circle so that the very edges of the circles, that outer line, is on the border of what you want to touch, then when you level it, it will square it up. And effectively, what you want to do is it will effectively make everything on the outer circle match the height of the stuff on the inner circle. So, and that's the right. In fact, you want to line up that gap on that outer circle, and that means it will bring up and it'll be nice and like snug, nice snug fit. And this works on the outside as well, if you say want to build up the outsides a little bit. And yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed these quick fire tips for getting started in Valheim. As I said, I'm going to try and make this into a series. Once I complete the second boss fight, I'm going to come back to you and give you all the new tips I've learned from that period. That'll be including all the stuff like tin and all the other smelting. So yeah, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and all that fancy stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.